Yeah, so as it as this thing get bigger, as the follicle get bigger, it produces more estrogen, and more estrogen will produce more hormone that can make follicles get bigger. And like this kind of cycles happens until the follicles actually grow up and make a new, like a bigger space. And then this follicle get released, the mature follicle get released to the oviduct. Yeah. And then the released part of this oviduct, I mean the remaining part of the ovum just become a corpus luteum, which will order the pituitary gland to produce more um, progestins, which will make the lining of the uterus to be maintained. Okay, so we're still talking about the menstrual cycle. So during the menstrual phase, yeah, there's like a menstruation happening. So the thickness of the uterus will get decreased. And after the ovulation, sorry, after the menstruation finish, then the follicle get grows. This is a follicular phase. The follicle get grow and grow. And during this period, um, our body, the female body, produce more estrogens to thicken the uterus lining, which will affect the pregnancy because of the implantation stuff. Yeah, I'm going to explain it on the next slide. Um, yeah, so because there is no uterus lining, then the female cannot actually get pregnant. Yeah, I'll explain it briefly later. You just know, you just have to know that the female cannot be pregnant if the uterus lining doesn't exist. Okay, so the estrogen get produced and the uterus lining get bigger. The ovulation occurred. Then after the ovulation occurred, the female body actually don't really have to make more bigger uterus wall because they already have kind of enough thick. So the release of estrogen get decreases. Instead of estrogen, the hormone called progesterone produces a lot. Um, so you have to know what progesterone does. Progesterone maintains the uterus lining. So before the next before the next menstruation, the female body has to maintain the uterus lining for the pregnancy. So it produces more progesterone to maintain it after the ovulation. So after the ovulation, the corpus luteum will get formed, and the corpus luteum um, order our pituitary gland to produce more progesterones. Yeah, and that's the correlation between this and yeah, the hormones. Yeah, so this is also a crash course GIF that I wrote, which shows about the menstrual cycle and the hormone and everything, basically everything about it. Yeah, so progesterone increases after ovulation, estrogen decreases after ovulation. But you just have to know that if the production rate of the progesterone increases, then production rate of estrogen decreases because they're in the negative um, they're in the different, because they are formed into reciprocal relation. Because they are working on the inversely proportioned way. Yeah, this may help you later um, while I'm explaining about birth control pills. Okay, so now we're on the fertilization. So the fertilization is the process of the fusion of a nucleus of a male gamete and female gamete. So it's just a process that the egg and sperm cells get combined. So, well, when the fertilization happens, the embryo gets formed, and this will later, the embryo will produce it, and the fertilization happens inside the woman's body. So we call it as an internal fertilization. It's quite intuitive, it's straightforward. So how fertilization happens in the egg cell is released from the ovary into the oviduct as the sperm has been ejaculated into the vagina and is trapping off the cervix. The egg and sperm meet at the oviduct and then fertilization begins. Yeah. So after ovulation occurs, the egg take place in the oviduct and the sperm cells swim, and then go to the nectar ovum and they get fertilized. So here's a pictures of how briefly the fertilization happens. So after the ejaculation, the sperm cells, some of the sperm cells just find the ovum, and only one go through the ovum, and then this is how the fertilization happens. The nucleus of the sperm cell get removed there, and the nucleus of the egg get combined. So they get combined and then they produce a zygote. So yeah, after they process, the cell division occurs. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, blah blah blah. Yeah, so the zygote get divided, and then as they get divided, they move through the oviduct and move to the vertex. And then they move to the uterus. Because the uterus is the where place the baby is grown, they have to move to the uterus. And after they get to move to the uterus, after they get to move to the uterus, the zygote get implanted to the wall of the uterus. And this is what is related to the menstrual cycle and implantation of the implantation of cycle. That's what I said before. Remember, if I said if there is no uterus wall exists, then the woman can never be pregnant. It's because the zygote has to be implanted to the uterus to get the nutrition and oxygen and all the stuff from mother. If they don't get any of them, they cannot survive because they're not actually connected to anywhere else. So this is why the implantation is important. So if they get implanted to the body, and after they get implanted, they grow on the uterus like this. Yeah. So what happens after the embryo gets implanted to the birth, to the uterus? So after the baby gets implanted.